Hey witches, it's Faye the Fiend, and today we are going over my favorite tarot spreads. Um, I usually don't read in spreads, but when I do, I prefer the following. Alrighty, so I have one for love, I have one for overall life, and then I have one that can go in separate ways depending on what you're going for. So we're going to start with the first one, which is the heart rating. It basically is made to look like, well, a heart. So we have the first one, which represents you. We have the second one, which represents the other person. The third one represents the relationship. The fourth one represents how they see you. Fifth, how you see them. Six, how you see the relationship. Seven, how they see the relationship. And then eight, the outcome. So you can see it kind of makes a heart. Um, that's the whole point of it. So I'm just gonna give a sample reading based on the cards I gave, but you don't need to sit and listen to this if you don't want to. You can go to the next one. So here you would be the Three of Pentacles. That feels kind of business-like. Feels like partnership. Maybe this is a person you met at work. I'm obviously not reading for you. This isn't a general reading. This is just an example. Yeah, Pentacles make me think more like financial focused, more practical. Um, Especially the Three of Pentacles. That makes me feel like coworkers or business partners. This person is the Four of Cups in reverse. So that's making me think this is a person that isn't very satisfied. Maybe they kind of are always wanting something else, or an opportunity is being presented to them but they're not really interested in the opportunity. The three in the spread is the relationship, and that's the star, so that would be kind of like a dream come true. You can tell this isn't like, I'm not picking up on energy, because there's no way you would be the Three of Pentacles and they would be the Four of Cups in reverse, and then you'd be like, your dream relationship, like that's, you know what I mean? um yeah, it just wouldn't make any sense. But yeah, so that would be the relationship. This would be how they see you. So they see you as kind of like a wandering off, like your mind is looking towards the horizon. You can see you have like all these. The Three of Wands is kind of like planning. You have, it's like the Ace of Wands is the inspiration, and Three of Wands is like, okay, now I'm working towards my actual goal. So I mean, in this situation, it seems like the person's a little distracted um, with their, or you, I guess, not the person, but the you would be more focused on their career. You have the Two of Cups in reverse. So that's how you see them, which is kind of like not the best. I don't have to feel bad delivering this news because I'm not reading anyone's energy. But yeah, it's kind of like there's something that's not in alignment with the relationship. We have six, which is how you see the relationship. It looks like a trap. The Eight of Swords in reverse, something to like walk away from. And the same thing how they see the relationship, the Devil card is like something that's chaining them down, but it's in reverse, so it's kind of like walking away from the situation. And then the outcome would be the Five of Swords in reverse, which is like an argument. It is in reverse, so that's kind of like forgiveness after an argument more than it would be the argument itself. But as you can see, the outcome wasn't something good. So yeah. All right, now we have the 12 houses spread. So if you're familiar with astrology, um, that it's basically going over the 12 houses. So we have one, two, three. This one gets kind of annoying. I'm just gonna automatically flip them. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So you can obviously organize it to make it look prettier. Um, here we go. So you can see kind of the 12 houses. Let me get it situated here. The issue, yeah. I mean, if you're not familiar with astrology, you may want to write down the meanings, but I'm just going to quickly go over the houses in case you guys aren't too familiar with astrology, but know that these are like general interpretations of the houses. The houses can be much more convoluted than this. The first one would be the self, the ego, and how people are perceiving you. So we have the sample reading, which is the Seven of Swords. Seven of Swords gives me the energy of like, it's usually depicted as a thief, right? Like someone getting away with something. So if you're not getting away with something, then I would say people are perceiving you as someone who's being sneaky or deceptive. House number 2 would be finances or the material. We have the Eight of Cups, which is walking away from something. So I would say maybe this is like walking away from a job or a situation where you are making money. It could also be that like some kind of opportunity you had or some kind of comfort you had is going away. The three of the, the three of the third card in the spread um, is the third house, which is the mind, communication, intellect, learning. We have the high priestess for that. So I would say that a lot of your studying or your mind is being redirected towards intuitive pursuits versus like intellectual or even philosophical. I feel like your mind is very much in the intuitive side of things. Um, it doesn't appear to be negative, so it wouldn't be like, hey, come back to reality. You know what I mean? It's not like you're disassociating, it's just kind of like you're getting more in tune with your intuition. And your subconscious might be coming to the forefront more often around this time. We have the wheel for the fourth house. The fourth house is the home, domestic life, family. So the wheel, upright, that's kind of good. It's like good luck, in my opinion, because the wheel is just like our life cycles, right? So sometimes they're good and they're up and everything's going well, and sometimes they're bad and they're down. That's just how life is. Like no one's gonna have an 100% terrible life or 100% great life. And so in the fourth house for your family, you would have like a great time. That's not something that you're having to worry about too much now. Something unexpected might happen, but it doesn't seem to be anything chaotic. The fifth house would be love, entertainment, creation, and creation could also be children. Um, Entertainment could also be like casinos and gambling, so just be aware of that. The fifth house, you have death. So that would be like maybe the end of a partnership, or maybe you were like in the flirting stages with somebody and then you got the death card. So it's kind of like you're ending the situationship. I wouldn't take it as a literal death, but if for whatever reason you wanted to take it that way, be aware because it's like the things that you create. So I don't know if it would be like, I don't want to say children dying. That'd be terrible. Let's not go there. But yeah, maybe the end of a project, something you created. Then for the seventh house, no, that's incorrect. The sixth house. Sixth house is health, health concerns. Um, it's also helping, like helping around, helping someone else. It's the house of being of service to someone else. It could even be like caretaker situation, because then, if it's the house of helping and service to others, and it's also the house of health, caretakers tend to be in this house. It's also the house of chores or like daily tasks, um, attention to detail. So here we have the Knight of Swords. So everything seems to be going there. It's kind of like everything's happening like in order, maybe quickly. Um, yeah, it's more. I feel like your thoughts would be more aligned during this time. And we have the seventh house, which is the house of open enemies, marriage, partnership. You have the Seven of Cups in reverse. That would make me feel like you're easily distracted instead of like focusing on one partner, um, or like settling down. You're kind of just like, you know, shooting your shot in every direction, basically. So that would kind of be like a warning to like try to focus more if you want to. I guess can't make you, but then we have the eighth house, which is sex, death, secrets, inheritance. It's also the house of the occult. We have, who is this? Is this the Fool? Yeah, that's the Fool. I love that in Spanish. It's el loco. That's great. Can you see that? Let me focus. Focus. Come on. I don't think you can see it, but it literally says el loco. That's funny. I'm sorry. Let me zoom back in. Here we go. The Fool in reverse. That's kind of like rushing into something, um, without being prepared, being kind of naive about the situation. Um, there's not other cards to give me context, so technically it could also be taking yourself too seriously, having like no sense of adventure. So maybe that's a message about, your sex life. um Secrets. Yeah, so if you were thinking more in the direction of secrets or other people's secrets, I would be aware that maybe you're being too naive or too trusting. You have the ninth house, which is travel, philosophy, laws, also our in laws. And we have the Two of Swords, which is a decision that needs to be made. Um, this is usually an indication, especially with the moon here, you can see the depiction, to follow your heart. I know it's corny, but it's true. When you don't know what to do, um, focus more on what your intuition is telling you or what your heart is telling you. We have the 10th house, which is fame, the public eye, career. You have strength, so I feel like everything's going to appear in order, even if it's not to other people. Um, Also, it just seems like a strong point here, especially with, I don't know, like death or like the Seven of Cups in reverse in the seventh house. It's not necessarily like the best energy, but like this, the 10th house is giving like very strong, and people are, um, perceiving that as well from you. Not many concerns there. It might mean that your career is, staying strong. So if you had any concerns, especially with the eight of cups in the second house, about, the stability of your career, I feel like the strength would be like you're fine. The 11th house is friendships, connections, connections as in like networking, if you can think of that. Um, we have the moon in reverse, so I would beware of illusions because the moon always kind of brings that up, but also beware that you might be a little too fearful. Again, when you're pulling one card, there's not a lot of context. So try to apply whatever it is that you pull to your own situation and try to listen to your intuition more. And obviously, you'd have a more clear reading. I don't, because I'm not reading for anyone specifically, and I don't know your situation, but that's why when I pull in my pick a cards, it's like multiple cards, so I can have context. Because here, there's like the one card, so it can go either way. It can be that, you need to be more trusting and you're being too fearful. And it could also be that there's illusion and you need to be less trusting, which, would be supported by the Fool in reverse here. Then, lastly, the 12th house is the house of the subconscious, our dreams, anything that's hidden in our intuition. And we have the 6 of Cups in reverse. So that's kind of like you're focusing too much on the past in a negative light. Instead of like reminiscing or being happy about it, you're kind of like stuck there, whether consciously or subconsciously. So they're kind of just like resolve that, to clear it out of the way so we can move forward. And then our final spread is, it can go in many directions. I like to use it for ancestor readings. I know not everybody, talks to their ancestors, venerates their ancestors, but just bear with me because there's multiple ways that it can go. So it's basically the left side and the right side. So it can be, your mother's side of the family and the advice they want to give you, and then your father's side of the family. And then obviously, like, some people have two mothers, some people have no fathers. Like, even if you don't have a parent present in your life, that doesn't mean that your ancestors aren't connected to this person, so that they might still have a message for you. I can still offer you guidance. And then we have, you can either do like past, present, future, or you can keep adding on to each section if you want more context. Um, this can also be taken as like two choices. Like, if I take this choice, what is the outcome? If I do this choice, what is the outcome? It can be, a message from the past self, a message from the present self, or sorry, the future self. So past self, future self. It could also be a message from the lower self or from the shadow self, and a message from the higher self, or even your spirit guides. Yeah, so then you would just read it. I don't think I have to give an example for that one because there's not really like a, this card means this card means that, it's just kind of like a story. And this story isn't real, so I don't want to start trying to make sense of something that isn't real. But yeah, I hope you found that helpful. Let me know if you had any questions or if you have any spreads that you want to share. That'd be awesome. Yeah, please subscribe if you're interested in more witchy content, and see you on the other side.